People in the gun community have been asking, what's going on with AOR in Connecticut? We are excited to talk to you guys about it today. Stay tuned. This is attorney Andy Marcantel and attorney Marc J. Victor. We are the partners at the Attorneys for Freedom Law Firm, here today to tell a story about a law firm versus the state of Connecticut. How you doing, Marc?
I'm fantastic, as always, Andy. Thanks for asking. And yes, state of Connecticut, a little bit cranky with AOR, but not to fret. Everything's going to be just fine.
I've been so excited to talk about this one for a while because we love being transparent with everybody at all times on all issues with regard to our program and everything else that we're up to. And so there were lots of comments and questions about it. And unfortunately, we had to jump through some hoops and cross some red tape and talk to the state of Connecticut Insurance Department about various things before we could talk about it. But I sure have been excited for this video, Marc.
Yeah, it's kind of a fun story just about how the whole thing came up and what happened. So I think our goal with this video is just to tell people exactly what happened.
Yeah, and I think it's important to kind of set the stage for the cease and desist letter that we received, too, because we figured something like this was likely coming for our program in some of these what we might call less friendly to gun states.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a surprise to us that there are many states out there that just don't like this kind of a product, right? I mean, if they had their way, they would just simply ban guns, right? We know that. There's no surprise to anybody. So we know that they're not going to be friendly towards our product or really many other products as well. I mean, they don't like anything related to firearms or to the Second Amendment. So knowing this in advance, we weren't surprised here. We've been working on other projects, and people know we've probably changed and improved the AOR program, several times. I don't know, we probably had 3 or 4 official times where we've said, hey, we are unveiling something new with AOR. And hopefully that's never going to end. I mean, our plan is not to be complacent with AOR. We're always looking to improve and add more things to our program because, as I've said, and everybody gets an email from me when they sign up in AOR, and I'm very clear with them. I'm not interested in second best on anything that we're doing. And so we've also been watching the political tides. And, it's no surprise that in the wake of Bruin, the anti-gun states have been scrambling to do anything that they can do to impose burdens on competent, responsible firearms owners who are simply exercising their right to keep and bear arms. And one thing that's been a little troubling to me has been this effort by several states now to say, well, if you want a firearm, you have to now have liability insurance. Some of them proposing limits of up to $100,000. Imagine that. You need a $100,000 liability policy in order to exercise your Second Amendment right. I can remember when really this was an issue that was talked about with vehicles, right? Why on earth does the government get to say you got to have mandatory insurance? But that got by and that got through, and states mandate insurance coverage if you want to drive your vehicle. So I don't know how this issue is going to shake out in the wake of Bruin, but it might survive. States may be able to tell competent, responsible firearms owners, look, you got to secure a liability policy before you can keep and bear arms. This is a problem, right, for AOR, because as people who have been following us, and even people who've watched the critique that I did on AOR, it's no surprise this is not something that AOR currently offers. And it is something that some of our competitors offer.
Yeah, because that's insurance-driven, right? That's the idea, and we are not an insurance company. We are a law firm.
That's right. So that's been one of the dings on AOR. And indeed, a lot of people in the AOR program keep another program as well, and there are several of them, because they want that sort of liability coverage, or they anticipate they're going to need it at some point. So it's something we've been exploring, right? I do want to say, though, in order for us to change anything about AOR, it has to sort of check some boxes. And one of the boxes it's going to check is it's only going to be an improvement. We're not taking anything away. Another box is we're never going to give over control of what we do, right? We are going to be the ones who decide if it's a self-defense related incident or not. We're never going to delegate that to somebody else, nor are we going to change our program. we very specifically say in our fee agreement, criminal acts are not excluded, along with a huge laundry list of a whole bunch of other things that are not excluded. And we're not changing that.
We are refusing to change that. In fact, any conversation with any entity, government or otherwise, that even proposes that we change what makes our product great and what allows you and I and our law firm to drive who makes the coverage decisions, any conversations about changing that is a non-starter for us. We are not even interested in any solution or proposed solution that even entertains those ideas, and that was true in our conversations with Connecticut as well.
Yeah. So I've been engaging attorneys all over the country who are more educated than I am in this space, right? I'm a criminal defense lawyer. That's what I've been doing for 30 plus years. I don't do insurance. I don't know what the regulations are.
We don't know jack crap about insurance or any of this regulatory stuff.
Not our area. But so I've been learning a lot about this, and we've been seeking different solutions. So we're in the process, and we've been teasing for quite a while now that there's probably some things we're going to add to the program. But that's not done yet. So while we're in the process of this, one morning I roll into work, and I get a message from one of our reps, one of our people who are out there explaining the AOR program to potential clients of our firm. And what is sent to me is what purports to be a cease and desist order from the state of Connecticut.
Yeah, and it should be noted that this was in May of 2024, that this day that you're describing where you discovered this. Interestingly, this order was purported to have been sent or issued on the 16th of April. So this was several weeks after this order had been issued.
So I look at the order and I'm thinking, we never got any such order. This is ridiculous. And so I go to the state of Connecticut Department of Insurance website, and I put the number in on that's reflected on the docket. It says MC 19-109, and it pulls up a completely unrelated case with very, very similar language, and I conclude, not everybody loves AOR out there, and so somebody just simply took something in Connecticut and put our name on it and is perpetrating some kind of a fraud or a joke or something. So I, of course, tell our rep, hey, don't just ignore it. This is garbage. It's not a real thing.
Yeah, we had lots of reasons to doubt its truth at that point because we hadn't been served, for starters.
Yeah.
We hadn't received any call or emails or letters or anything from Connecticut's insurance department. You usually would receive, according to all of our experts in the insurance field who we've been relying on and consulting, you would definitely expect that before making such a ruling and order, you would at least hear from the department to talk to you, give you a chance to explain yourself, anything. And so we hadn't received such communication, nor had we received any service or anything like that. So I understand your initial gut reaction there.
Yeah, so I search attorneys for freedom. I search attorneys on retainer. Nothing comes up. But, to me, this is just a bunch of garbage. So I tell everyone, hey, this is nothing. Don't worry about it. Business as usual.
We still, if I remember correctly, just to be safe, we forwarded over to one of our insurance counsel who handles this kind of stuff for us. And then I started digging into it a little bit. I was curious about it. And I went to the Connecticut insurance website. And, I did the same thing. I searched for our name. I searched for attorneys on retainer, attorneys for freedom, all that stuff. Nothing was coming up. But then I clicked on a little tab that said recent rulings and scrolled a little bit, and voila, it was right there, much to my surprise. And I forwarded it to you and our insurance counsel and was like, hey, guys, take a look at this. I think it's real. Even though the case number and docket number was identical to another unrelated matters docket number, in that moment, I was like, oh, okay, it's on the official website. I think it's real.
Yeah. So, of course, our reaction is, look, we're going to do the same thing no matter what the situation is. We're always going to act with high character and be authentic and be committed to excellence. That's what we do. And we do that in all situations, period. That's how we operate, so that's how we're going to deal with this. So I instructed our insurance counsel to reach out to the department in Connecticut and say, hey, here we are. Just want to let you know, we haven't been served with anything. We got no notice of anything, but we are reaching out to you to deal with this situation?
We literally found out about your official order because one of our clients told one of our reps about it and sent us a link. So what's in that cease and desist letter? What does Connecticut say is our problem?
Yeah, Connecticut is essentially saying we are insurance and we're not licensed as insurance in the state of Connecticut, and therefore we are to cease and desist from doing business in Connecticut, and we are ordered to cancel all contracts with all of our clients and refund every dime that we have collected from every client in Connecticut and cease to do business there unless and until we are licensed as insurance or work out some other resolution with the state of Connecticut.
Right. They applied Connecticut's, the insurance commissioner, in this order, which we'll post a link to, by the way. It's some interesting reading. Go ahead and check it out. But their conclusion is that they apply Connecticut's language of what counts as insurance. They apply it to AOR, and they conclude that we fit the definition of insurance in the state of Connecticut.
Yeah, and of course, we're powerless to define what insurance means in Connecticut, right? They could define it any way they want. There are just simply no limits on what Connecticut can decide insurance is in Connecticut. And Connecticut has decided that lawyers representing clients in legal matters with some ancillary stuff, right? To be fair, we have some what we call incidental things out there.
Which they found problematic, to be fair, right?
Yeah.
If you read the cease and desist order, you'll see that they spend some time talking about the incidentals and why, in their opinion, that starts to smack like insurance kind of
Yeah,
thing.
so they decide it's insurance. It's not lawyers in a law firm offering legal services, but it's insurance, and so cease and desist. There's some other fun stuff in that cease and desist.
Yes, absolutely. There was also some really interesting conclusions in there. I highlighted one of my favorites here, Mark, in which the Connecticut Insurance Commissioner determines, and I quote from the cease and desist order, "The facts set forth in paragraphs 1 through 20 of the findings of fact herein give the Commissioner reasonable cause to believe that the probability of such continued violations," so that's us practicing there without insurance licenses, "constitutes a situation of imminent peril to the public welfare, and that the situation therefore imperatively requires immediate action." So apparently we're an imminent threat to the public welfare. How's that feel, Mark?
Sounds like an emergency in Connecticut. The people have to be protected here. So, I mean, there's your government at work for you, right? There's why we love government so much, right?
By us offering our services there, I think what they're trying to claim is that we are causing an imminent peril to the folks of Connecticut because we haven't jumped through the hoops required for licensed insurance providers. We haven't demonstrated to the government that we have jumped through all the hoops that they want us to jump through.
I gotta say, I really thought about having a big fight with them over this because, this is just ridiculous. And so, I talked to our lawyer and, she said, "Mark, I'm not afraid to fight this for you. We can go in and fight this thing. This is ridiculous. You're not insurance." But on the other hand, we're so close to getting another plan done here that very likely is going to satisfy Connecticut. Why don't we just present that to them and say, hey, here's what we're up to. Here's what we're planning. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, the timing is interesting here, and it did guide our choice of how to respond to this. We were in the process, as you mentioned, of a very interesting and creative and kind of outside of the box solution that would render this entire cease and desist order moot. We were already in that process for at least a couple of months prior to this. And so at that point, it became a question of, well, what's the best for our clients? That's all we really care about at the end of the day, is we want to make the move that's going to best serve the people who chose to put their trust in the program.
Yeah, and that's always what we do, right? We step back and we say, okay, well, I like to think, what would Marcus Aurelius do? Mm-hmm. And he's going to do the right thing. He's going to do what the high character the play is.
My guess is most people listening have no idea who Marcus Aurelius is, so why don't you explain who that is?
Marcus Aurelius is someone who I have some admiration for. He was known as one of the great emperors of ancient Rome, and also was a purveyor of Stoic philosophy. He wrote a journal, his own personal journal, that is entitled Meditations today. It's one of the more widely read books by lots of people. General Mattis, who's a Marine Corps general, carries it everywhere he goes. And look, if you don't know what Meditations is, I suggest you pick it up and read it. Marcus Aurelius is always committed to doing the right thing, no matter what, right? Doing the right thing for the sake of doing the right thing. He's a hero of mine for that reason. And so I like to step back and say, well, what would Marcus Aurelius do in this situation? He's going to do the right thing. And for us as lawyers, how many times have we said we're lawyers first, right? The right thing is always protecting our clients. Mm-hmm. That is what we do. We protect our clients. And so can we comply with this order and still protect our clients is kind of where we're going with this. And that was our thought process from the very beginning.
Marcus Aurelius, from his meditations, also gave us some specific advice about this particular issue that we took to heart. And that is, Mark, that oftentimes when you're going through life and you're having problems and something comes up and can trip you up and has the tendency to cause you some headache, Marcus reminds us that oftentimes the obstacle is the way.
It's one of my favorite quotes.
Absolutely.
It hangs in my home. And so when a problem arises in your life, you look at that. Instead of making a judgment like, oh my God, I got some huge problem here. What am I going to do? You say, I've got an opportunity. What can I make of this? How can I show what I'm about? How can I grow? How can I learn? What can I do with this opportunity that's thrown at me? And that's exactly our attitude on all problems.
Yes, so we set about the task of making the obstacle the way here.
Yep.
And we did so through some excellent legal counsel that we consulted, people who are much more experienced than you and I in the areas of insurance and regulation, and this board in particular, and local counsel and national counsel, to figure out the best way to handle this while also doing well by our clients. And I'm really excited to talk about the solution that we came to, and we have some really exciting announcements about it. But first, it came to making sure that Connecticut was happy and making sure that our clients in Connecticut were happy.
Yeah, and I actually didn't anticipate talking about this publicly anyways, because it's something really that only affects the clients that we have in Connecticut. But as you would expect, things are out there. People talk and people put things on the internet. And so this whole situation has now become a public situation, and people have asked us. In fact, we haven't made a video in a while now where we haven't had somebody saying, hey, what's going on in Connecticut?
Yeah, it seems like every video that we've been making, there's a comment there on YouTube saying, hey, can you guys talk about what's going on in Connecticut? We even we got information that some of our competitors got a hold of the cease and desist letter, and when people were leaving their programs to come to us, the marketing people in those programs were instructed or advised by those programs to present the cease and desist to them to try to dissuade them from leaving the program and coming to AOR.
Yeah, well, we're certainly not an imminent threat to the people of Connecticut in any way. We're definitely an imminent threat to some of our competitors.
Absolutely.
And we should also point out that it was very clear, and our attorneys reported to us, that this wasn't just something that the Connecticut Department of Insurance stumbled upon. This was something that somebody or some company reported to the Department of Connecticut, Department of Insurance. Maybe a company that hails the free market and competition and things like that. I don't know. But this doesn't seem to be a very pro-free market move.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, that was interesting because kind of off the record, the insurance department spoke with our counsel and shared, we got a report about you guys and saying it was from a specific source. And so while, getting this problem handled and doing right by our clients is always first, I have to admit, Mark, I'm awfully curious about what a FOIA request is going to show after this whole thing is resolved. I'm very curious to see where this report originated from. I'm sure it wasn't from somebody who was interested in free market capitalism or friendly competition, but that's to be seen. I'm very interested and excited to see that.
So it is what it is. It doesn't change how we operate. So we, of course, decided or really asked the question, can we comply with this thing and still do everything that we want in Connecticut with our clients? Answer, yes. And so we did what an excellent lawyer would do, which is immediately notify our clients in Connecticut on exactly what's going on, tell them what's going to happen, how we're going to handle things.
Which leads us to the letter. And so this is one of the reasons why we wanted to make this video. We understand this is now out in the public domain. It's being talked about on podcasts. I've seen it posted. And so in the spirit of transparency, we wanted to share it with all of you and just let you know how we handled this situation in Connecticut with our clients. And
people are going to speculate about things. And look, I think that the more information people have about exactly what we're about and how we operate, the better. So instead of speculating, we will block out any client names and let's tell people exactly what we did.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead and read the letter. It's dated on May 29th, 2024. And just for context, again, it was April 16th, 2024 that this cease and desist was issued by the state of Connecticut Insurance Department. So over a month, about a month and a half afterwards, but we sent this letter out within a few days of us learning about the problem. So that kind of gives you an idea of how long it took us to become aware of this. Then we have our client's information regarding attorneys on retainer in Connecticut, and it says, "Dear client, you're receiving this letter because you signed up as an attorneys on retainer client in the state of Connecticut. Let me begin with some much-deserved gratitude. We realize your decision to place your trust in our program is an important one, and we don't take it for granted. Indeed, ensuring you are well represented in the event of a self-defense incident is one of the most important decisions any competent firearms owner can make. On behalf of our entire team, I extend our deepest thanks for trusting the Attorneys on Retainer program, AOR, with the important task of protecting you and your family. It is truly an honor to represent you. We are committed to excellence in all dealings with our clients and everyone else. This includes a dedication to transparency in all respects. As a long-established and well-respected law firm, our clients always come first and deserve to know about any developments that may affect their legal representation. As you may be aware, on April 16, 2024, the State of Connecticut Insurance Department issued a cease and desist order regarding our law firm, instructing us to stop offering AOR to residents of Connecticut. We have attached the order for your review. As you can see, the Connecticut Insurance Commissioner contends that AOR constitutes insurance as defined by Connecticut's laws. As such, the Commissioner instructs us to cancel and refund all fee agreements with our clients within the state. Although this order was issued over a month ago, we only recently became aware of it. We were never consulted, nor were we served with the order when it was issued. As of the date of this letter, we have still not been legally served. And as of the date of filming this video, we still have not been legally served.
Still haven't received it, no.
I'm sure it's lost in the mail. I'm sure it's on the way. The order only came to our attention recently when one of our AOR clients discovered it on the Connecticut Insurance Department's website and sent it to us. Despite never being consulted or served, we chose to act as swiftly and proactively as possible. We immediately ceased new signups in the state of Connecticut and reached out to the Connecticut Insurance Department within hours of discovering the issue. I think it was within 2 hours of discovering this issue. We already had our counsel on it. Since then, we have been in constant contact with the department, diligently working on an acceptable resolution. While we strongly disagree with the department's opinion that AOR is insurance, we immediately committed ourselves to finding a mutually acceptable solution so that we may continue to represent the competent gun owners of Connecticut. While this is the first issue of its kind we've had, we want to be prepared if there are similar challenges from other jurisdictions in the future. Indeed, we anticipated this kind of response to AOR from certain anti-gun states long before this issue was raised, and we have been preparing accordingly. We are excited to report we have a solution in progress, which we are confident will not only address the Connecticut Insurance Department's concerns, but will allow us to improve our program in all 50 states. Mark, sometimes the obstacle is the way. We are excited to be able to talk publicly about this soon and have a few more hoops to jump through before we make a public announcement. Rest assured that AOR will continue to provide the same level of service and legal representation without excluding either criminal acts or changing anything about what is currently required to constitute a valid self-defense related legal matter. We will only be improving AOR by adding some new benefits for all of our AOR clients. Through consultation with our exceptional legal team and our longtime ethics counsel, we anticipate having an excellent long-term solution within the next few months that will resolve the expected legal challenges in the anti-gun states. This leaves only one outstanding issue: how to handle the Connecticut cease and desist order with respect to our current Connecticut AOR clients while we finalize the solution. Our answer is simple. First and foremost, we take care of our clients. Our clients who chose to extend their trust to our law firm to protect them in the aftermath of a self-defense incident shouldn't be left high and dry while we resolve this issue with Connecticut's insurance department. So, here is our plan for all of our valued Connecticut AOR clients. First, we will fully comply with the Connecticut Insurance Department's order as required by law. Accordingly, effective immediately, all AOR retainer agreements with our Connecticut clients have been canceled and all fees have been refunded. Please note, we have processed a refund for all fees you have paid for AOR. Depending on when you signed up, you will either receive a refund to the credit card you used to enroll in AOR or a check will be enclosed with this letter. If for any reason you do not see your refund come through, do not hesitate to contact us immediately and we will rectify the situation. Second, we will provide pro bono legal representation for any self-defense incident absolutely free of charge to all of our Connecticut clients until we finalize our solution. We will proudly offer you the same criteria for representation as before, but we won't charge you a dime in the interim. As always, any legal representation is subject to a conflicts check. We have confirmed with the Connecticut Insurance Department that the current order cannot prevent us from offering completely free pro bono representation to those who we choose to represent within the state. You need take no action at all. We continue to have your back exactly as we did before the order was issued. If a self-defense related legal matter arises in this period, simply use the AOR emergency contact line, same as before, and we will jump into action without any costs, fees, or expenses to you. All non-self-defense related legal matters will remain available at the same 35% discount as identified in our fee agreement. When a solution is finalized and the Connecticut Insurance Department is satisfied, we will reach out to you and offer to renew your paid membership in AOR. We see this as a chance to step up, put our money where our mouth is, and do right by our clients. We are honored to have this opportunity to build trust with you. Rest assured, in the event you are required to defend yourself or another person during this period, we will defend you just as zealously as if you were a fully paid member of our program. It's what you deserve for placing your trust in us, and we won't let you down. We'll keep you up to date with the exciting developments we have in store. We look forward to continuing our win-win partnership with you moving forward. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to reach out to our AOR Customer Service Department and then we give the phone number once again. Thank you for placing your trust in AOR. Sincerely, Mark Victor.
Yeah, this was a no-brainer for us, right? This is easy.
I was excited to send this letter.
Yeah, it provided an opportunity for us to show the people of Connecticut what we're about. I don't know what's going to happen in Connecticut, but if somebody has a self-defense related incident during this time period and they call that emergency line, we're going to deliver with the same ferocious legal representation that we offer to all of our clients, whether they're in the AOR program or they're just a regular client of our firm, as we've been doing for the last 27 years we've been in business. So if that happens, if there's somebody out there in Connecticut and they're thinking, wow, these guys really going to deliver, test us.
Yeah.
Just try us. We're going to deliver. We don't say we're going to do something and then don't do it. That's just not what we're made of.
Absolutely. And that goes to one of the reasons why people have a lot more trust in our law firm than like a program that outsources your legal matter to some attorney, one of their network attorneys or something like that. It's because if that type of a program does a poor job on a legal case or on representation, they can always kind of pass the buck and say, well, that's not our lawyers, that's not our law firm, that's somebody that we assigned to you as part of being, the insurance paid for a lawyer and everything like that. Not with AOR. The buck stops here.
That's right.
We understand and we don't take it for granted that our program rises and falls based on how we do for clients, how we represent people, and we take that really seriously. So it would be an honor if somebody who's receiving this free pro bono legal representation during this several-month period while we're jumping through all the legal hoops, if they needed our services, I would be honored to provide that to them. It's so important in that time.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about trust, right? At the end of the day, it's about trust. It's about building trust. It's what I tell everyone here at the law firm in our firm meetings. When the market finds out exactly what we're about, and they know who we are, what we're about, how we do business, it's going to be all over, right? A lot of people in the program right now, they heard about it. They're comparing numbers or exclusions or something that they don't really know who we are, what we're about. This provided an opportunity for us to show at least the clients in Connecticut what we're about, and maybe we'll have to deliver. We'll have an opportunity. We'll look at that as the same opportunity. Yeah, the same opportunity. So it's just a function of us doing what's right, and that's how we're always going to do it. It's how we've always done business. It's how we'll always continue to do business.
Well, on the subject of people in the program, I want to take this opportunity to say I love our AOR clients in Connecticut. I love you guys because the response that we got from this, we sent it out as a certified letter and an email, and we put the refund checks in there and everything like that. The response, overwhelmingly positive, overwhelmingly supportive. There were people refusing to accept the refund, saying, no, you guys are awesome. I hereby donate my refund check to the law firm or give it to charity or something like that. I ain't taking it. You guys are doing a great job. I love you guys. I'll be waiting here as soon as you get done with the bureaucratic hoops and all that stuff.
That's just how it works, right? This is not just a rule about AOR. This is a rule for life. You treat people properly. That's how you make the most friends. That's how you make the most money in business. I tell people all the time, yeah, we have these very high standards. It's not that we're sacrificing being good capitalists or being good entrepreneurs. It's not one or the other. It's how you make the most money. It's how
treating people well is what's in your best interest in the long term.
I wish more people would figure out the secret formula, right? Act with high character in everything you do. This isn't just a business thing. It's not just a personal thing. It's how you act in that very short period of time where you get to be alive and on the planet and a member of the human race. At the end of your life, are you going to be proud of how you lived your life, or are you going to look back and say, maybe I wasn't so great? I want to be proud of how I acted when I look back over my life someday, and so should everybody else. So this just should be par for the course.
So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know in Connecticut who sent us, I mean, there are many, many, many of you who sent us these great letters, messages, emails, comments, everything like that.
Some of them were really fun.
And some of them were hilarious.
Right.
Like a lot of them expressed some, I think, well-justified anti-governmental bullshit sentiments, which I tend to echo.
Yeah, I mean, stronger than that, right? I mean, this is, to me, this is ridiculous.
This is ridiculous.
Why is it that
we're an imminent threat to the public, Mark?
I mean, just ridiculous.
By offering our service to help people out if they need to defend themselves.
Yeah, supposedly in a free country, we can't make an arm's length transaction with clients of our firm who say, you know what, Mark, I'll trust you and your team to have my back, and I'll send you $35 a month, and I'll take that chance. I will contract with you. But no, here comes the government. They didn't get their piece of the pie. We weren't paying rates or whatever you have to pay to be insurance in their state, and they want their cut. And so they come down on us, and that's fine. We're not going to fight this battle because we have a solution on the horizon that doesn't compromise anything that we're doing. It allows us to provide some other things. And as long as it checks those boxes that we talked about earlier, I'm in. And I'm excited. It's hard for me today to not blow this thing up and let everybody know what we're up to.
Yeah, me too,
But
man.
It's just a little bit too soon because we don't have all the I's dotted and T's crossed.
Yeah, we could have waited to make this video until all of the things were finalized with the government and everybody was happy and we had the blessing from the Ethics Council, we had the blessing from the insurance lawyers and everything like that. And so we could have waited a couple of months to unveil this video and explain this, but we didn't want to because we've been receiving, as we pointed out at the beginning of the show, we've been receiving just tons of questions about this, and we thought that not addressing it, not putting it out there, and not talking about it would have been doing a disservice to our clients, and we want to be transparent with everything that we do in this law firm. So
yeah, so we should also put out the current state of affairs, right? So if you are in Connecticut and you are already a member of the Attorneys on Retainer program, we got your back. Right? You just call us.
You are now our free pro bono legal representation client, and there's nothing the Connecticut Insurance Board can do about it because I get to represent and Mark gets to represent anybody that we want in that state if we're doing it for free. So they can't stop us.
So that's easy enough. So if you're already in, you got a refund of every dime you paid, and you're still covered as if you were paid. Now, when we get everything squared away, you're going to get a letter from us that says, hey, the freebie time is over, and if you want to sign up in AOR, here's your opportunity. Here's the new program. Sign up. It'll be much like the old program, except even better. If you're in Connecticut and you want to sign up in the AOR program, you can't right now unless you have a residency in another state. If you do, then fine, we can sign you up in any other state, but not in Connecticut until we get this resolved, which we think is going to be fairly soon. I mean, I don't know exactly, because we don't know exactly when this video is going to be published and exactly when we're going to be able to say we're open for business in Connecticut, but it will be very soon. This isn't going to go on forever. And, of course, the cease and desist issue is now resolved. We have an order that has been signed, stipulation and consent order.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in this order, Mark. I think that we should go through it and point out a couple of important things to highlight.
So this one's on State of Connecticut letterhead insurance department in the matter of Attorneys for Freedom respondent, stipulation and consent order. It is hereby stipulated and agreed between Attorneys for Freedom respondent and State of Connecticut Insurance Department by and through Andrew N. Mays, Insurance Commissioner, to wit, number one, whereas pursuant to information received by the department, I wonder where the information came from that they
an interesting FOIA request. Right?
Whereas pursuant to information received by the department, the commissioner alleges that the respondent marketed and sold in Connecticut an unauthorized and unapproved insurance product called Attorneys on Retainer, whereby the respondent provided coverage to gun owners for incidents arising out of the use of a firearm. Whereas Commissioner alleges that the respondent's action violated in his various sections cited of the Connecticut General Statute, whereas on April 16, 2024, the commissioner issued an order against the respondent mandating that the respondent immediately cease and desist offering Attorneys on Retainer program in Connecticut. That's the order. Whereas, upon becoming aware of the order, but in advance of actually receiving it, the respondent proactively approached the commissioner and, without conceding that it has committed any violation, respondent has promptly complied with the order and fully cooperated with the department in this matter.
Okay. We got to give them credit for this little inclusion. I know we're busting on them and everything like that, but to their credit, they did acknowledge in their finding that we were proactive, that we approached them, and that we promptly complied with
That's fair. And it was nice of them to put that in there to sort of explain what happened here. Whereas respondent agrees that it will not offer in the future the Attorneys on Retainer program in Connecticut unless and until such program complies fully with all applicable laws and regulations, whereas the respondent neither admits nor denies the commissioner's allegations referred to in this stipulation and consent order, whereas in order to avoid the expense and uncertainty of litigation, the respondent desires to terminate this matter without the necessity of a formal proceeding, consents to the terms of the stipulation and consent order, and voluntarily waives A, any right to a hearing, and B, any requirement that the commissioner's decision contain a statement of findings of fact and conclusions of law, and C, any and all rights to object to or challenge before the commissioner or in any judicial proceeding any aspect, provision, or requirement of the order and of this stipulation and consent order. Now, therefore, upon the consent of the parties, it is hereby ordered and adjudged, number one, that the insurance commissioner has jurisdiction of the subject matter of this administrative proceeding. Number two, that in the future, the respondent shall not offer the Attorneys on Retainer program in Connecticut unless and until such program complies fully with all applicable laws and regulation. Attorneys for Freedom by Marc J. Victor. Next page is the certification where the notary certified my signature and below, dated at Hartford, Connecticut, the 7th day of June, 2024, Andrew Mays, Insurance Commissioner. Yes. So that closes this little chapter on the cease and desist. Status quo right now is people who are in AOR are unaffected by this, except that now they have AOR for free, which is fine with us. No biggie. And we can't sign up new clients in Connecticut, but this probably gets us a lot more attention in Connecticut. And I think when people find out about the new program, we are getting ready to very soon unveil, more and more people are going to want to sign up, knowing that the insurance commissioner in Connecticut is just fine.
Yeah, we're willing to fight these different regulatory agencies. We are willing to go to bat for our clients. We're willing to come up with creative and out-of-the-box solutions to get around the bureaucratic red tape imposed by different governmental agencies. We're fine with that. We love this stuff. Being confronted with this problem and synergizing together with our legal team and coming up with a solution is the type of stuff that we like to do. Don't threaten us with a good time, other states.
if we can use their own rules against them and improve our program, all the better. And so that's what creative lawyers do. They look at exactly what the rules of the game are, and then they use them to their advantage, and that's what our plan is here.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, I'm glad we addressed this today. Obviously, we've been getting a lot of questions about it, and I think transparency and the spirit of transparency is so important to the marketplace in this space. I know that a lot of other companies have gotten grief from the 2A community because people perceive that they lack transparency. That ain't going to be us.
No.
That will not be us.
Yeah, this has been our brand from day one. We lay it all out there. Here's what it is. Some people may like it. Some people may not like it. We feel like we're doing the right thing. We're always open for criticism or suggestions. We're open-minded. If somebody's got something that they think is better that we should do, we're always listening. We're always trying to improve our program. But here's what it is. Here's what we did. And so people will react however they react. But I feel very confident and comfortable that we check the box of acting with high character here.
Absolutely. That's all we can do. We can't control the actions of other people. We can't control the actions of the government. All we can do is control what we're in control of. And I'm very happy with how we reacted to this situation. And I think we used it as a great opportunity to improve the program. That's the only downside right now, is that I'm really excited to talk about it. Until we jump through these last hoops, I can't. So our word to you is that as soon as we can talk about this, as soon as we get the proverbial gag order ripped off of our mouths, you're not going to be able to shut us up about our awesome improvements to the program. So stay tuned. That's coming soon. In the meantime, go and check out attorneysonretainer.us. Learn all about this awesome program and what it can do for you. If you want to learn about our law firm and the types of values that we bring to the table in representing people, go to attorneysforfreedom.com to learn more. As always, if you like the video, be sure to throw a like on it, subscribe to the channel, leave us a comment down below, and share the video with a friend. Until next time, my friends, has been Attorney Andy Marcantel and Attorney Marc J. Victor. Peace.